Eden Zero is back, and it's kind of a good thing that I'm still a small channel, because there's no way in hell I would be able to talk about this if anyone found out about it at YouTube. Okay, so it starts out with Clown looking at Hermit as she's basically suffering to death, and just walks away past her like a jackass. He goes straight for the Aetheron, and he's going to open up the door, but unfortunately he doesn't get to do it, and we don't get to see what's inside. There's still a high probability it's probably an android girl. Just saying. And the reason why he's unable to open it is because Sister is up and going. Like, her clothes are ripped open, her chest is basically popped out, and she's covered in drool, but she's ready to fight. First thing she does is use her healing ability to cure Hermit of her, well, dying. So all the veins go away, the virus seems to be just disappeared that was put into her. She's just panting like as she recovers. But other than that, nothing really changes. She's basically out of the fight still. But Clown is surprised. He's like, what happened to my pet? Weren't you eaten? And he goes, oh, that thing that attacked me, yeah. So we get a flashback to what happened. He basically gives it a bunch of dog commands, like roll over, sit, aw, you know, things like that. He doesn't listen to her, so she gets mad, and basically activates her healing ability, where she overheals it, I think, and it fucking explodes in a massive thing of blood. It is just fucking nasty. Clown responds, you're the life of Edens and you killed a poor innocent animal. And Sister responds, that thing was made of ether. It wasn't even a real dog. And if it was a real dog, I would still discipline it for not obeying my orders. Clown's like, oh, I see. Well, let me show you what death of Edens really is. And he basically does that same thing he did to Rebecca, that he puts her into basically the shadow realm. She's there she's all tied up with chains, and she immediately just starts screaming. She's not into being tied up. This is what you people are into. Basically, her mindset is that everyone is a masochist that she gets to play with. Clown then starts to taunt her by explaining that he also put Rebecca in this place. But she was able to escape, but only because of Killer dying and messing up the dimension he created, and also Shiki coming to the rescue. But when it comes to her, she's all on her own, and she's trapped, and basically he's saying she's doomed. Witch doesn't hear any of this. All she heard was that Rebecca was trapped in this place, all tied up as well, and so she fantasizes about Rebecca being tied up in the most sexual way she possibly can, in a bikini for some reason, and this apparently turns her on. She starts drooling and everything. And then Clown says, let's begin the nightmare, and he basically turns into this Cthulhu-looking thing. It's just a giant flesh thing with eyeballs and tentacles. And it starts wrapping her up, crushing her brutally. One of his tentacles goes into her mouth and starts basically pumping things into her like an alien. And they burst out of her chest, and they basically look like leeches. And yeah, disgusting. Utterly disgusting. Once again, I can't believe I can't even talk about this on YouTube. Basically, half her body is now gone. She starts laughing, saying, yeah, even though this is just an illusion, most people would be psychologically damaged to the point where they couldn't recover. But it's not going to affect her because she's a doctor. Oh, well, she got a degree online. I actually laughed at that because that was one of the funnier jokes I've heard from the series in a while, or read in the series. Because let's be honest, you can't be a doctor online. So she straight up just says a fake degree. That's fantastic. Can't believe she admitted that. And she basically decides it's her turn now to do the torturing. And she basically is able to just use her ability to take over his world. And she basically pins him onto a BSMX thing. And she also wears her own BSMX leather outfit with her whip chain. And starts beating the shit out of him. Puts him on one of those horse things, water torture. Just fucking brutal as hell as he's crying and begging her to stop. And she says, hell no, just keeps going. And we get a great shot of her ass. Like, she went full bore on this. Now, this torture apparently got so extreme that it eventually just shattered the altered dimension. Which, by the way, these Dark Stars in their altered dimensions, it's like they all have altered dimension powers. It's so fucking weird. So they're back into the real world, and Sister basically says that she's going to do all kinds of horrible things to him, but she's going to keep him alive, because as the life of Edens, she's not going to kill him. Which has got to be the most sadistic way of torturing someone possible. It's like, I will do awful, awful things to you, and you will live the entire time. There is no death. She's basically describing hell. You go to hell and you're tortured for all eternity. Basically is what she's telling the Clown. He's sweating and freaking the fuck out. Hermit, of course, is smiling. Of course, Hermit didn't see what actually happened, so she's just happy that Witch is safe. She doesn't realize what she's been up to, or maybe she does, and probably doesn't want to ask her what exactly happened, the details. You know, now that Bromheim is possibly dead and Killer is basically dead, it's kind of unclear if they're going to be able to get everyone's memories now and be able to understand what was happening, because they're kind of running out of like both stars, like, and dark stars, basically shining stars and dark stars, to have their memories, to see why Ziggy sealed things away. And the reason why this is a big deal is because Bronheim and Valkyrie knew each other, but if they're both dead, then they can't have access to either of their memories, so that entire part of the story is just gone at that point. So is Barham dead, or is he just chopped up? Because he got fucked up last time by Jaguar and was put back together, so it could happen again. And I have no idea about Killer, because he blew himself up and he turned himself basically into a virus code, so he could be in cyberspace for all I know. But yeah, if everyone is dying off and basically they're down to like half the stars, both dark and light, then you're kind of missing a lot of information, even if you are able to get everyone's memories back. I'm really hoping my questions can be answered properly, but I guess we'll have to wait and see how many of them are still alive and how many of their memories they can get back. But yeah, gotta wait and see for that. But hey, if you enjoyed this, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, so you can enjoy more Eden Zero and other anime things. Thank you, and have a great day.